Hi guys, welcome to today's video. Today we're talking about why all the road bikes I own are rim brake and why I haven't invested in getting a disc brake bike yet. So we're looking at three bikes on the video side while I'm talking to you. I've got my Cervelo P5, which is an X-Team Dimension Data bike. It's currently still a frame at the moment, some wheels. I've got my S3, which also was technically X-Team Dimension Data, but it was an unused frame. And I've also got my custom CAD12 you've seen quite a lot of. So why do I only use rim brake bikes and why do I only own them? First of all, for me, is I'm very privileged that I get to use bikes from a variety of suppliers. So Cannondale, Cervelo, Focus, potentially Ridley in the future is just a few of the ones I'm looking at and sort of riding at the moment. Because of that, I haven't had a need for a while to buy a new bike, so I just use those bikes when they get given to me. What I found while testing, last year I think I tested 30 odd bikes, including mountain bikes, gravel bikes, everything. And what I found is on the road side of things, the only bike that I really enjoyed riding and contemplated getting for a little bit of time was the Cannondale V3R. And once I talked to the rep about that and said, like, this bike's incredible, why does it feel so at home to me? The rep himself said it's because the bike itself was designed around a rim brake design, so the handling, everything was designed to feel like a rim brake bike. And what I mean by that is that when you ride a disc brake bike compared to if you've been used to riding rim brake bikes your whole sort of cycling sort of career, a rim brake bike feels very planted and very compliant at the rear end. When you ride, especially the early disc brake road bikes, they're having to strengthen up the rear triangles quite a lot, which means that all that compliance they put into the rear was starting to get lost very slowly because they were putting so much carbon to strengthen the left-hand stay to put that disc caliper on. The same goes to the front fork as well, because that obviously is used for a lot of compliance reasons, and when they start stiffening that up to put a brake on there, it almost loses a bit of its balance as well, because they're stiffening up the left-hand fork but not doing anything with the right-hand forks. They don't need to, which means the balance feels a little bit weird when you're riding it at high speed and stuff, down descents. Because of that, I've personally only ever really owned the rim brake bikes. I've had the CAD12 now for 4 years, so that's the oldest bike I own. I tend to move stuff over pretty quickly to get the latest things for the videos, but the CAD12, that's something as soon as I bought that, I had an S3 at the time, which was my primary bike, bought the CAD12 as a winter bike and rode that and loved it so much that I sold the S3 and kept the CAD12 and just upgraded the CAD12. I've now gone full circle and I've now got an S3 as a winter bike, so the tables have changed a little bit. The other thing about rim brake bikes, all the componentry is a little bit cheaper. So like if, for example, you crashed your bike and you damaged, say, the right hand shifter, on a rim brake old Tegra bike that would cost you around about £190, where on a hydraulic brake lever, because there's much more technology that's squeezed in there, that will cost you in the region of sort of £300 instead. So that's one thing. Also, brake feel. I think there's better brake feel with a rim brake bike. I prefer having that almost resistance through the lever, because on a hydraulic system it's just fluid through the system, so you don't feel any resistance, you're just pulling a lever, but you do feel obviously the modulation when you get to it. With a rim brake bike you have that cable tension that's kind of pulling against the lever, and I like that feel in the brakes. Also, I truly don't believe you need to have a hydraulic disc brake bike on a very lightweight road bike. I think it's massively overkill. You're relying on the grip of the tyre to stop you, and that only goes so far. And I've been riding road bikes now for almost 14-15 years, and I've never had a situation, summer, winter, snow, ice, anything on the road, that I've run out of brake on a rim brake bike. I've definitely locked up a disc brake bike occasionally, because you're pulling it, and especially in an emergency situation, you kind of pull it, panicking a little bit, and you will skid that rear wheel. On a rim brake bike you're less likely to. Obviously tests have been done to show that you will stop quicker on a disc brake bike, which makes sense because of how it's designed, and that's why they use them on the mountain bikes and everything, and I completely agree they should be on the mountain bikes. but I personally think on a road bike it's just overkill. The final reason why I don't have any disc brake bikes in my sort of garage at the moment is the weight. So that S3 cost me about £1,000 to build. That bike weighs 7.4 kilos with pedals, cages, everything. If you were to buy a disc brake bike the same sort of price, it'd be aluminium, even second hand. You'd be very lucky to get a disc brake, hydraulic disc brake bike for that sort of price in carbon. It would be a hell of a lot heavier. This bike weighs the same as someone I used to work with's bike, that is an R5 dura-ace Di2 power meter, same power meter, carbon wheels, and it weighs exactly the same as my S3 does on aluminium wheels with a power meter and tram red 10 speed. So for me it's definitely weight. That my CAD 12 is rapidly becoming closer to 6 kilos, which is crazy. You'd have to spend a hell of a lot more money than what I spent on that CAD 12 to get anything near that sort of weight. So those are the major reasons why I personally like to ride a disc brake bike, and why, for at least for the future at the moment, I'll only own them. At some point obviously I will have to move over to a disc brake bike because companies are simply just not supplying them anymore. So Cannondale have completely, I think, got rid of all their rim brake bikes now, apart from potentially a couple of CAD 13s. Trek have got rid of them all pretty much now on the carbon sort of range. Specialized the same. So my next bike is probably, unless I go for some niche brand, is going to have to be a disc brake bike. It's a shame. I think they should still give the option for people. I know the money in development and stuff for what they're actually going to be selling is very small, but I think they should still give people the option of what they want to ride. So anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. It's a bit longer than usual. Please subscribe, comment and like, and I will catch you guys later on for more content. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.